Okay everyone, so we will begin with the G7x and G7 training. So first of all, I'm going to kind of just explain what the devices are. There's a picture of me, one of the engager managers. So what is G7x and what is G7 Bridge? So here are the products right here, Bridge and the X. So basically, these two products need each other. They're a paired system. You don't need to pair them. They automatically pair to your devices that you have, and you also have your own network key. So that means your company can only connect to your bridges. You can't connect to another company's bridges. So let's first talk about the bridge and what this guy does and why we need the bridge. So the bridge is our communicator. He allows us, the loaner worker, the G7X device, to be connected. So the G7 connects to satellite communication if you work in remote locations, and it also connects to cell as well. The objective is the G7 to be connected. It doesn't mind which type of communication it's connected to, as long as it's connected. You can tell that your G7 is connected, and if you look on my screen, you can see there is a solid green light just above the power button. That means my G7 is connected, and to tell me which type of connection, you can see the arrow pointing to cell, and that's the form of communication. So with the G7, it does have 50 hours of battery, so it's really important that you do keep an eye on your battery, you know, every couple of days, and keep it topped up. You can get your bridges kind of wired into your vehicles if you're using it on a vehicle. So basically when your vehicle's running, it's charging. There's a number of things that we can do, but it is your responsibility to keep an eye on the battery. And if you look in my screenshot on the screen, you can see it says 100%. That is your battery percentage. So every couple of days, you look on your screen and you can check that and see where you're at, and it's your responsibility to keep that battery charged up. If you don't have a bridge that's working and it's not charged, then you can't use it. So that's really important. Now, for the bridge to successfully communicate, it needs to be able to communicate to cell and satellite. So that means it needs a clear line of sight to the sky. So whether you would use this outside on site, whether you would use it inside of a vehicle or outside of a vehicle, if you're using it indoors, it needs to be near a window, if not outside, but it needs to have a clear line of sight to the sky. So there is nothing blocking the bridge. There's no kind of overhangs, or you park your vehicle in a garage or things like that. It needs to have a clear line of sight to the sky, which brings me to my next bonus feature, which is this is portable. So if you do have to park your vehicle inside and it's not getting connection and you're working outside, you can just grab your bridge and you can take it with you. As long as the bridge is upright and just risen off the floor, you know, human height is fine. It's upright, has a clear line of sight, you're good, you're golden, you're good to go with the bridge. It is an outdoor product, so it does have a weatherproof case. However, I just want to make note, I have one here, my rubber stopper. Sorry, I think my rubber stoppers, that's okay. So just so you know, in the bridge, they automatically come with one. There is a rubber stopper. So make sure that your rubber stopper is in, protecting your charger. And if you're using it and charging it, then obviously it's going to be out because there'll be a charger in there or something. Okay, I think I've covered everything. 50 hours of battery. We need a clear line of sight to the sky. It needs to be reachable, right? You know, you need to be able to get to it so you can check on things. I mean, if you have it constantly charged and plugged in, then you're good to go. So let's talk about kind of the G7, and then I'm going to talk about how the two connect and distance and things like that. So this is your kind of man-down, worn personal device. This guy needs to be on you at all times for order to successfully work and safety protect you. The goal of this guy is to alert you if there's gas in the area to allow you to evacuate. It can also warn you of any personal safety alarms, such as if you've fallen or if you've got a check-in or if you haven't moved. It wants to check on you and see that you're okay, and then you can quickly tell the device you're okay. And then obviously the device will warn you if there's any other messages, such as you have a text message. You know, you've got a text message that says evacuate the area, or you have a low battery, or you've lost connection from your bridge. Those are more lower warning types of alarms. But the objective is the device to warn you if there's gas, and if you need to call for help, you can pull the latch, and to warn you of any other safety features. So with this guy, he has 18 hours, okay, and he connects to the bridge. So it's really important that the bridge is turned on first, it gets connected, and then you can simply turn on your G7X, and then it will connect to your bridge. The distance that you can range from you and your bridge is for up to 2 kilometers of distance. So you've got a fair bit of distance, and remember, if you break that distance, your G7 will let you know, and then you can bring your bridge in closer to you or move it. So there's troubleshooting that you can kind of do out there in the field on your own. Okay, with the G7X, like I said, it's really important for you to wear it. This guy has safety features such as fall detection and no motion. If you're not wearing it, it is definitely going to lead to false alarms. So it's so important that we do wear it, and I'll talk about that as well. Another common factor between the two is the solid green light again. So at the top, you can't quite see it on this, but don't worry, I'm going to show you. But at the top, it has a solid green light. Once we get this guy turned on and connected, you're going to see a solid green light at the top to let you know that you are connected. So that's your kind of go-to to confirm that your device is working and connected. So in terms of kind of emergency situations and response, I'll kind of show you and guide you through kind of the alert. So I've got a kind of a slide on that shortly. So I'll show you kind of a picture of how it all operates. Before I get into that, I just want to kind of go through some of the hardware details with you. I'm going to breeze over these because as we go forward in the presentation, I show you the alerts and things, you're going to see me pressing the buttons and what we need. So first of all, power button. Here's our power button to the left to turn it on and off. We've got this latch in the middle. It's red. If I need to call for help, I pull the latch. Quite simple. To acknowledge alerts and things like that, you can push down on the latch. And then obviously going forward on the screen, and like you've got OK buttons and arrows and things like that. So again, I'm going to zoom in on the screen here. So the screen is one of my favorite features of this device because A, it tells me what's happening on my device, and B, it tells me what to do. So if I'm like, oh, I can't remember if I have to press the button or the arrows or the OK, the device will tell you. The device will tell you what to do, so it's very intuitive. And remember, we do have a two-way texting capability, which I'll come into when we're talking about response and things like that. So power button on the left, just letting you know this is an emergency situation. You've got some arrows and an OK button. Arrows are typically used to navigate up and down the menu, but primarily the use is to silence any of your alarms that come in. And you press down on the 2 arrows for 3 bleeps. And don't worry, I'm going to go all over this again. And if there are any questions, let me know. And I'm checking. I can't see any. Just make sure I haven't missed any here. No, we're good. Okay. At the top of the device, you've got these 2 little kind of panels. Those will be flashing different colors depending on what types of alerts are happening, the response. Don't worry, I'm going to go into them. And then on the back, you have your belt clip to allow you to securely fasten this to your hip or your chest. And then you also have a product label with your unit ID, which has been assigned to you. Your bridge also has a unit ID, which is paired and shared. Then you've got your charging port at the bottom here as well. So let's move into the bridge. Oh, I lost my, there we go. So let's move into the bridge hardware details, and then we're going to move on into how the system all works, and then we're going to get into turning the devices on, and I'm going to demonstrate some alerts for you. Okay, so with the bridge, looking at the screenshot and looking here, the power button, obviously here to the right, that's to turn your device on and off, and then below that is your Sure Safe light, which is also your connection, right? That solid green light is key because it tells you you're connected. And up here, tells you you're connected. Then you've got at the top a charging light. So when you do connect your charger, you'll see that guy flashing to show that you're charging. Solid red light for a full charge. Don't expect you to remember all of this, which is why we supply you with support materials, a customer care service to help you as well. So don't worry. Okay, then we've got an OK button. So your OK button actually lights up the screen. So what the bridge will do, if you haven't been using the screen for a while, it's like a screensaver, just like your phone. The light will go out. It doesn't mean it's off. It's off because you'll see that solid green light. So if you ever need to read the screen and check out what's happening, you just simply press the OK button, it lights up the screen, and then you can read what's happening. Then you've got your arrows, which allow you to navigate through the menu. You don't typically need to use the bridge for anything because everything is communicated via the G7X. This guy is just he's just the communicator. He's just allowing everything to happen. This is where all the magic happens. And then you've got your product label on the back, so your unit ID here. Okay, so remember, some companies will assign it to me, so this will be Victoria Suter's personal device. So this will be assigned to me, and my bridge will be assigned to me. And then some companies have shared devices. So this could be Blackline Office One shared device and Blackline Office One shared bridge. So there's multiple ways that you can use it. And then obviously you've got your charger port, and then you do have the removable plug in there as well to protect it. Okay, I think that's everything. Remember, 50 hours on the bridge and 18 on the G7. Okay, how the system works. So, just a little screenshot here. So I've got my bridge. I could have it outdoors. I could have it in my vehicle. And don't worry, I'm going to talk about installation as well. But I've got my bridge on my vehicle, for example, and I've got this on my chest pocket, and I'm out working away. So we know there's 2 kilometers of distance. Now something happens and I need help. So what I do is I pull my latch, and what happens is that information then goes to the bridge, and the bridge then communicates that information down to the Blackline Safety network via the satellite communication that it's connected to or the cellular communication that it's connected to. So that's how kind of it all works. So we are receiving, emergency events, gas alerts. We're receiving them within, 30 seconds, if not less. So they're coming to us pretty quick. Okay, so alarm alerts and notifications. So I'm going to kind of go through these. So this is just a quick hit, and I will definitely explain these as we go further on. So green, this means I'm connected. Solid green light means I'm connected. If my device is blinking green, that means I am not connected, and we will talk about what we do to resolve that when and if that happens. Yellow light, so as you can see, I've got yellow warning and then I've got yellow pending. Yellow light is basically saying, hey Victoria, you've got to read your screen because there's something going on. You need to read what's it telling you, and then you need to respond or silence it and follow accordingly. So the first type of yellow alarm is a warning alarm. And a warning alarm is definitely saying, read your screen, you've got a message, you need to see what's going on. That could be low gas warning. It could be you've got a text message. It could be a low battery. And I'll share the exact list with you later on. So I'm going to play you what a warning alarm sounds like. So it's going to be flashing yellow, vibrating, and playing this sound. So, and remember, if you're not sure, just always look at your screen. The G7 will always tell you. And then yellow pending alarms. This is a G7 asking you to confirm that you're safe. So this is going to be stuff like no motion, full detection, check-in. The device is saying, look, are you okay? And all you're going to say is yes by pressing down on the latch. And the pending alarms are as follows. And just remember, anything yellow, just read the screen and it will tell you what to do. It will tell you to press the 2 arrows. It will tell you to press the latch. The only training you need today is when we're pressing the 2 arrows, you need to know that you need to hold them down for 3 bleeps. And don't worry, I will be going through and showing you this as well. I'm just going to have a little whiz at my team here online, see if anyone's raised their hand. Okay, awesome. Then we've got red alerts. So red, if you ever have your device flashing red, evacuate. If you've got gas detection and you've you need to evacuate. Other than that, it's you physically calling for help where it will flash and things like that. So I will play you the red alert. Now, once an alert has come through to the Blackline Safety Network or whomever is monitoring you, you might be self-monitoring yourself, or you might have Blackline monitoring you. If you're unsure, you can check in with your manager or your engagement manager, whoever. But once the alert goes into the system, the blue live response is really, really important. It's knowing that we've got your back. Because if I pull my latch, my device is flashing red, you know, I'm not feeling too good, my chest is getting tight, and I pulled that latch, how do I know Blackline or my monitoring personnel have received my alert? And in comes this flashing blue light, and then I kind of, obviously I'm reassured that someone's received my alert. So that blue light is definitely what sets us above, you know, sets us apart from most companies, is that confirmation and reassurance that someone has got my alert and they're going to be contacting me and then they're going to send help. So I know that you know, my message is heard. So yeah, that's what the blue live response light means. Okay, so operating. I'm going to show you how to quickly charge a device. Every device in their box does have a charger and a clip. And basically, you just attach your clip to the charger. This is for the G7, and then you plug it in, okay? And then you see the light, and you know you're charging. You can also see on my screen, I'll do my best to focus this in as quickly as I can, but you'll see on my screen it says charging as well. It does have bars, and you can see, I mean, it's 20%, there's 5 bars, 20% a bar. So you can see where you're at with your charging just by looking at your screen, and you only need 3 hours for a full charge. So it's a real short amount of time. If you do leave it on overnight, that's absolutely fine as well. Okay, so to power down your device, it's really important to understand that you do power down the G7X first before you power down your bridge. So here's how we power down. First of all, we need to hold the power button for 3 seconds, and you'll see on your screen a 3, 2, 1. So here we go. And now your device is starting to power down. To confirm this, your light is starting to flash. It's really important that you wait for your light to go out before you place it on the charger. And just a little side note, always make sure that your device has a solid green light before powering down, okay? If it's flashing, you cannot send a successful log off. So make sure you do have a solid green light before you power down. Okay, so my lights are off. Now what I want to do is connect it to my charger. So I've attached my cable, my charger port to my clip, and then I attach my clip to my charger. And then as you can see, I've got a red light at the bottom of my device. And then I've also got my charging symbol. Now remember, we only need 3 hours to get a full charge, and if you leave it on overnight, that's fine. But when you do arrive to your device, you know, in the morning or whatever, you will see that all your bars are full, which means your device is charged. Now, if you do wish to turn off your bridge at the end of your shift, that's fine. If you don't, then please make sure it's on the charger, because if you leave it on overnight, again, that's going to die down the battery. So please make sure that you do charge your bridge and keep an eye on that. And remember, we check it by pressing the OK button, which lights up the screen, and then you can see your battery percentage. So here I am, I'm going to power down my bridge. So I'm simply going to press down on the power button and keep holding. And you can see I do a 3, 2, 1, and then logging off. I can release my finger, and everything is starting to flash, okay? And then once all the flashing lights have gone out, I have then successfully powered down my bridge. Okay, everyone, so now we're going to move on to the next slide. Now, bridge is pretty simple. You want to obviously release the ceiling plug, but keep it in, and then you just plug in here, and then you'll see it. Now, with the bridge, you can keep the bridge online to charge. So a lot of customers will use these inside vehicles charging, you know, in their office, move it around. Remember, bridge is the communicator. He's not, you know, activating alerts. So he can be left on, charging, whatever you need, and I'll talk about that a little bit more clearly as we move forward. Okay, so powering on. So to power on, the first thing I want to do is press the power button on my bridge first. Remember, we've got to get him fired up, get him communicating to the satellite or the cell communication. So here we go. I'm going to press my power button. And as you can see, my device is flashing because it's trying to connect. And on my screen, it's going to say searching. Device is 0, correct, because I haven't even turned this guy on to connect. So why that guy is connecting, I'm going to kind of go through the next slide, which is then powering on your G7X device. So it's really important that I wait for this guy to connect, and then as soon as he's connected, I'm then going to power up my G7, and then that guy will connect as well. So we're just waiting for that to connect. So as you can see, we do now have connection on the bridge. I know I've got connection because I have a solid green light. Awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to power up my G7. So I'm going to press my power button. It's going to make a nice bleep and some flashing. And as you can see, my device is flashing green. I'm just going to take this off. So what's happening right now is on my screen, my device is going through everything that's turned on and configured on this device. So while we're waiting for that, I want to just re-engage with you that this device is configurable. So when it comes down to setting your check-in times, if you want certain features turned on or off, if your device is too sensitive or it's not sensitive enough, if you need to change some gas settings, calibration, bump test settings, anything, this guy is configurable. So each device can have its own configuration. So just keep that in the back of your mind. What we typically do at Blackline is we set, talking to your managers over the phone and seeing kind of the work and the tasks that you're doing day in and day out. We basically set up a configuration based on experience that we've had with customers like yourself to set up a good, decent, sensitivity setting on the device. And then if once you've been using the device for a few days, if you feel that you keep getting, for example, fall detections, you can check in with your manager and we can increase your sensitivity setting to lessen those and to make it a little bit more customizable into your environment. So just let you know at the back of your mind. Okay, so what I'm doing, I've still got my device trying to connect there. It's really important for me, the end user, to wait for my device to be connected before I start my shift. And if there is any issue with connection, you can definitely call our customer care team and I'll provide you those numbers at the end. Okay, so we're going to move on into the sequence of powering off. So powering off, and again, I'll go through this a little bit at the end so you can see it live, etc. But powering off, we always need to turn off, oh, sorry, I'm flipping over screens here. We always need to ensure that the device is powered down first before the bridge. Sorry, move that out of the screen. So once your G7 is powered down completely, and I'll show you that sequence, you can then power down your bridge if you want to. If you power down your bridge first, before your G7X, if you have check-ins turned on, you will be receiving a missed check-in alert coming in, and I'll explain that as well. Okay, so I've got a solid green light. The next thing I want to do is wear it. So if you have gas detection, I know it's kind of most people wear it on the chest, but within the kind of the distance of gas detection, you can definitely wear it on your hip. That meets the guidelines. But a lot of companies do like to wear it on the chest. That's fine. If you don't have gas detection, you can typically wear it on your hip or your chest. But those are the two mandatory positions that we like you to wear it at. Just because it's on you, it's going to alarm you, vibrate, flash, and if you're not there to attend to that, we're going to lead to false alarms and possibly false dispatches. So it's so important that you wear it. That should be an internal mandatory policy that devices are worn at all times while you're using it, working alone or out of sight and sound, or whatever your work alone policy is. A reminder, if you leave it unattended, it's going to lead to false alarms. Okay, so I've got my solid green light, I've got it on my chest, I'm ready to start my shift. and I can forget about it. But now I'm going to kind of go through some of the mounting options for the bridge, because we did touch on that earlier. So with the bridge, you can mount it on top of a vehicle, in the back cab, on the dash, on site. It's completely up to you. As long as it has that clear line of sight to sky and you're not having anything blocking it, okay, it needs to see the sky, you're golden. And always make sure that your bridge, like I said, has that clear line of sight. All right, device features. So I'm going to kind of go through these in one, just because the fall detection, the no motion, the check-in, they're different features, but they all work the same in terms of what you need to do as the end user on my device. So for example, it could be a fall detection, a no motion, or a check-in. So fall detection is there to raise an alarm if you suddenly fall, slip, whatever, hurt yourself. The device is going to detect that and it's going to alarm you. Number two, no motion. If you don't move for a while, all of these times and sensitivity settings are adjustable. Typically, we start you off at 5 minutes, but this can be adjusted. Remember, 5 minutes is a long time for a man down, so keep that in your mind. So if you haven't moved for 5 minutes, the device is going to say, hey, Victoria, you haven't moved. Are you okay? And maybe I'm fine, maybe I'm not, but that's the device's job, is to detect if there's been no movement within the body. Then check-in. So a check-in is designed as an extra layer of safety. It's also a backup for the device. It's a great feature to have on. So if you decide to have the check-in on, for example, my manager says, okay, Victoria, we're going to start you off with a 2-hour check-in. As soon as I turn on my device and my light is solid green, you are going to see your personal check-in timer on the top right-hand corner of the device. So there's my check-in timer going down. So when 2 hours is up, my device is going to start beeping at me and I need to check in. So before I go further with the check-in, I just want to kind of show you an example of a safety pending alert coming in. So I've got my device configured very sensitive, so I can demonstrate easily to you. So here we go. I'm going to pretend I've had a fall. And here we go. So here is my device. This could be a no motion, fall detection, or check-in. My device is flashing yellow, it's vibrating, and it's sounding. On my screen, it is telling me, fall detection, press on latch to check in. Okay. And there we have it. I've checked in. No one is being alerted. This device is not escalating to any emergency response team or Blackline. This is a conversation between me and the device. I told the device I'm okay, and that's it. Okay. If I am unable, sorry, my camera is out of focus, there we go. If I'm unable to get to that fall detection alert, what's going to happen? It's going to escalate. So while I'm explaining that to you, I'm going to let one run. So here we go, here's my fall detection. I'm going to let it run so I can explain to you. So with a fall detection, no motion or check-in, what's happening is my device is seeing if I'm okay. If I'm in a man-down situation, within 60 seconds, again, this is configurable, so whenever I'm talking about times, remember, it's configurable. Within 60 seconds, my device is going to say, okay, Victoria, you haven't gotten back to me, so I'm getting you help, which is why it's so important that you wear it, so we have a true message coming in. So here we go, my device just went into a high alert. It does say fall detection. Sorry, I was trying to show you the screen, but it does say fall detection on my screen, and it's also, there it is, fall detected. Flashing red light, and there you have it. We have a blue light. Okay, there is a blue light flashing, and I know someone has received it. Now, at any given time, you can silence this alert, but silencing does not cancel, okay? There is no way to cancel this red alert. Once it's red, it's gone. So remember, red, it's gone now. I cannot cancel it or do anything. So now the monitoring personnel are going to be trying to get a hold of me. So in the meantime, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you how to silence. So if I'm unsure, remember the screen tells me everything. So if I tap on my screen, you can see it is telling me to press on the 2 arrows. But the training from me to you is press on the 2 arrows for 3 bleeps. And there we have it. See, the red light's disappeared. Blue light's still active though, because someone's going to try and get a hold of me. Now, typically in a protocol, the first thing we would do is we would send you a text For example, are you okay? This has two-way texting communication. As you can see, it's pretty darn quick. So I just had a text message. So hopefully, bear with me, I'm multitasking here. So as you can see, I've got a yellow light. Victoria, I've got to read the screen. Yellow, read the screen. So I'm reading my screen, and it does say, new message, are you okay? The first thing that I need to do with this message is I do need to press down on my two arrows, because if you see, if I press anything else on the screen, it's saying, hold on, you've got to press the two arrows to silence it first. Let's do that. Okay, and as you can see, I've got a new message. Real simple to reply. Press OK. Press it again, basically until you get to the menu. Now, when I get to the menu, there is a message box that says send message. Okay, it's because I want to send a message back to Blackline, letting them know that it's a false alarm. So I'm going to use my arrow to scroll down, and when I select send message, I press OK. Just typically like anything else that you use, you know, up and down, OK to enter, same thing. And then I'm going to find a message. So there are multiple configured messages already in there for you to use. Try and get that focused in. So send help. Nope, I want something like false alarm. Sending, done. So that's now sent to the monitoring personnel. Now, the text messages are configurable as well. So if there are any specifics that you needed, talk to us at Blackline. We'll get them reconfigured and we'll make sure they all tie into your protocol. Okay, so once Blackline have received my message, they might text me again saying confirmed or whatever. It depends on what was happening. But now my message has gone through, and then as soon as Blackline or whoever your monitoring personnel has received the alert and they've confirmed that you're okay, we're going to resolve the alert, case closed. And when that happens, your blue light goes out because you're okay. Okay, that is typically how alerts work. So if it's a pending alarm and you don't get to it in time, it goes into a red alert, then you've got the blue light coming in because someone's received your alert. Remember, you can silence it by pressing the two arrows for 3 bleeps, and you can reply back to a text. If it's just a red alert, you know, high gas, you can then silence it once you've evacuated the area. But the screen will always tell you. The only thing you need to remember is you hold down the arrows for 3 bleeps. That's the only thing you need to remember. Okay, so we've spoken a lot about on these safety features. I'm going to move into the check-in because I was kind of on that role of why the check-in is important. So the check-in is there as a backup as well. And also just a reminder, or not a reminder, but informing you, when we're driving with any of our devices, it does automatically check you in while driving, okay? So if you're driving above 35 kilometers an hour, which is 22 miles per hour for anyone in the US joining us today, it will check you in. So you won't have any pending alarms and things like that in the vehicle while driving. We want to steer away from any distracted driving. Okay, so on the check-in, you can also configure your device to have an early check-in. So if I want to check in early throughout my day and that's configured, I can do that. And all I need to do is press down on the latch for 3 vibrations. 1, 2, 3, checked in. And then you'll see your timer will reset in the corner. Okay, let's talk about the check-in, really why it's important. And I'm going to keep this real simple for you. I don't need to explain all the specifics and the logistics behind how this works. But just so you know, if something happens to your equipment out of your control, someone destroys it, it gets broken, I don't know, anything that you feel as an employee working remotely going, what if this doesn't work for me? Now I'm in a remote location, no one knows, and now I've got nothing I can use. What do I do? That's when the missed check-in comes in. So the check-in is a backup. So if anything happens out of your control, the check-in will still check in, go back to the safety, Blackline Safety or your monitoring personnel and say, Victoria's having a missed check-in because we tried to check in, couldn't get through for whatever reason, and now we're raising an alert. So now you might be fine, but now we've raised awareness, and now we can send someone to check on you and get someone and see your location where you were last at and get your managers involved and help with that situation. And that's why a lot of customers do like our check-in for that particular reason. Okay, now we're going to move on to the SOS alert. Real simple. Real simple with this guy. If you need help, pull the latch. You know, if you feel that your chest is getting tight, you're not feeling too good, you feel a bit faint, don't hesitate, pull the latch. So here we go, I'm going to pull my latch. And that's going to send an alert to the Blackline Safety Network, and we're going to respond. Now, when I say we're going to respond and things like that, this all depends on when we go live, so when your go live date is booked, if you're using Blackline, etc. So if you're confused about, you know, when you go live and things like that, please talk with your managers, and they'll explain it to you. So obviously, once you receive the alert in the system, you see that blue light appear. There it is. And then we're going to text you, communicate to you, see if you're okay. And if you don't respond, we're going to move further down into the protocol. And that's whatever your company decides as a protocol. Typically, we'll start calling your emergency contacts. Could be different. Once it's spoken to you, remember that blue light goes out. And remember, at some point, whether after the alert, during the alert, because it's a test, or whatever, someone needs to silence this device. So remember, if you're not sure, you can press on the screen and it will tell you what to do. Okay, so I'm going to put my latch back in, and then you can see 2 arrows, 3 bleeps, and I've silenced my device. Okay, I have a quick knowledge check question. I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds to type in. If you don't type in, if no one types in, I'm just going to move on. So this is just a quick knowledge check to see, you know, how you're feeling about everything and if you can remember. So on your way to site, you slip and fall, and your G7 wants to know if you're safe with a yellow pending alarm. What do you do if you are okay? If you can type in the chat box, that would be great. I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds to answer me, and if no one does, then I'll move on. So what do? You've got a pending yellow alarm. What do you do? Just seeing if anyone types in. Just type in the chat box below. What do you do? All right. Time is up. Okay. So what we do if we have that is we simply just push on the red latch. Okay. You just push on the red latch to tell the device you're okay. And remember, if you're unsure, it will tell you what to do. Okay, yellow warning alarms, and then we're almost done, and then we're going to move into gas detection. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies, we may be running over a little bit. I do apologize, but please hold on with me. I appreciate your patience. We shouldn't be run any over more than about 10 minutes. Thank you so much. Okay, yellow warning alarms. So, low battery, network connection interruption, new message. Team muster alert, I want you to leave. That's something that is only requested by a customer, but just know if you have a team alert muster, it means that one of you guys that's sharing a bridge with you is man down. Okay, so low battery. So I have a yellow warning alarm, I've got a low battery, that means I've got 20% left, which means I've got, 3-4 hours left, and I have to charge it. If you place your device straight onto the charger, it will automatically power down because we want to prevent false alarms. So it's so important to remember that. Network connection interruption, that means you've lost connection from your bridge. So you need to grab your bridge and bring it in closer. That is simply the easiest way. If you get back to your bridge and your bridge is blinking, then I like to recall on the 3 CPC. So connection, position, charging. Is my bridge connected? No, it's flashing. What helps my bridge stay connected is positioning. So where is it positioned? That could be why my bridge is not connecting or charging. Is it on the charger? Did you forget to charge it? Is it down dead? So those are the 3 things. Remember, CPC, connection, positioning, charging. So new message could be a warning alarm. Remember, if you're not sure, just read the screen and it will tell you. Okay, and remember we press on the 2 arrows. So that's just a quick symbol of saying receive and sending messages. Now, if necessary, the G7 Bridge can also send and receive messages, if that's the case, but really, you're going to be the one wearing this device. We don't want to have to walk back to the bridge and message all the time, so we really want to key communicate from this guy. Now, before I carry on, I just want to, again, I think I forgot to mention, so apologies, but how many devices can be connected to a bridge? The answer is 5. So if you are sharing this, this is great. And I just want to give you a little warning, but it's nothing to worry about. It's just a pre-warning. Okay, it's my device just asking me to check in. So I want to give you a pre-warning. If there are a group of you, okay, that all have your G7X's and bridges, you know, you've all done the training and you're all starting up in the car park together, and then you all turn on your devices and you notice that your bridge has 0, no devices connected, and your friend's bridge has 2 or 3. This is normal. The objective of the G7 is to connect to any bridge within your company. So what happens is your bridge is connected to your buddy's bridge, and now you're like, well, how can I move it? The thing is, you don't need to pair it and move it. You just need to drive off and get on with your day and start your journey, and then trust that your G7 will connect to your bridge. So remember, it's a distance thing. So my line is connected to my G7 is connected to your bridge. That's okay. I'm going to take my equipment. I'm going to drive off. As soon as I reach that 2 kilometers, my line is going to be looking for another bridge, and then it's going to connect to this bridge. And that's the only time it will jump connection, if it loses connection from another bridge. But on an advantage side is if you've got one of your employees, you know, one of your co-workers nearby, and you lose connection from your bridge, your loaner will connect to his bridge, and Blackline can see all of that. We can see if you're not connected to the bridge that you originally paired to. We can see all of that. So don't you worry about that. Let us worry about that. So just wanted to kind of touch base with that. If that happens, don't worry about it. Just drive off, and then it will connect. Okay. So just to recap, remember green, connected. Yellow, read the screen. Red, that's me calling for help, or maybe I need to evacuate. And then the blue, live response. I'm going to skip over this. I'm going to get on to gas detection because of time. Okay, so gas. Our gas detection works as normal as any other gas detection that is out and around. Just so you know, just so you know, with gas detection, we will replace any expired cartridges and things like that. If you're having any issues with your device, talk to customer care. We'll walk you through it, tell you what to do, no problem. So with the gas detection, you have either single gas, like me, H2S, or you might have 4 cartridges in there. So you'll have 4 circles, sensors in there of your choice, right? H2S, LEL, O2, CO, CO2, etc. So that will be down to, you know, your company and what you've ordered. Please note, with your device, we do have your single gas calibration cap and your quad gas, which all comes in the box. So whatever you have is going to be great for your device. And just know with bump and testing that you do need to put your device into bump mode, okay? So if you need to calibrate or bump it, you need to go to the menu, put it into bump or test mode, bump or calibration mode, and the device will tell you what to do next. It will say, apply the gas now, press OK, stop applying the gas, press OK, release it. It will tell you what to do, okay? Just to make sure you do release the cap and you don't leave it in there. Other than that, we do have a G7 dock station. So Blackline Safety, sorry, that's my fall detection because I've got it really sensitive, like really sensitive, so it keeps going off, just so I can demonstrate to you easily. So Blackline Safety offers G7 dock, which will automatically bump and calibrate your G7X for you. So I'm just going to show you here. Give me a second, I'm just going to put this on my hip. So here is, and I'll try and get this in, here is our dock station, kind of fancy. So with the dock, you plug it in, and then basically you insert the device in there and you shut down the roof, and you bump and calibrate your device, and it's also charging your device, okay? If you don't have gas or anything and you place it straight into the dock, it will automatically start charging, okay? On the back of the dock, you've got your gas out, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So number 1 is multi-gas, and then 2, 3, and 4 can be configured by us at Blackline if you just want to run H2S in there or CO2 or whatever. Let us know, but we can configure it, but you do have your multi-gas in there. So I'll quickly show you real quick. I'm not going to do a bump or anything just because of time, but you just simply place your device in. Oh, there we go. So just, sorry, I'll show you. I've just clipped it in. There we go, clipped it in, okay, so it's in, click it down, and it says straight away, do you want to bump or do you want to calibrate? Straight away. And then I just select the arrow and I choose it, and then it will bump. Bump's going to be real quick, calibrating 2 minutes or under, okay? And then to release it, I pinch, and then I just release it out. And there we have it. That's the dock stations. If that's something you're interested in, talk to your manager. Your manager will talk to your Blackline sales representative, and then we can order some dock stations for you if that's something that you wanted. Okay, gas features. So now we're moving to gas detection. So obviously you've still got all your safety features, all your safety warning alarms, all of that is all the same. Gas, we're going to start off by the warning alarms. So with our warning alarms, it's just literally going through a low warning alarm, under a limit, sensor error, bump test or calibration. So remember, yellow light, read the screen, acknowledge it by pressing the 2 arrows, and it tells you what to do. So a low warning alarm is basically when your gas levels reach the low concentration level, and then it's just going to warn you every 2 minutes. Remember, warning alarms do not escalate. They're just a conversation between you and the device. If you don't attend to that alarm, it will continue every 2 minutes. So it's just important that you read the screen, you acknowledge it, and you take on board what the device has told you. Under limits, if the gas sensor's baseline shifts, the reading will shift accordingly and become unreliable. When this happens, the presence of gas can still be measured but cannot be converted as an accurate reading. So if that happens, if you get an under limit, what I typically would do is calibrate my device and try if we can, define that. And then if that doesn't work, you can call into customer care and we can definitely help you. You can also zero your sensors and reset the baseline by going through the menu. So you can menu, find the zero and zero it out. Make sure you're in a clean environment when you're zeroing out, obviously. And then we have sensor error. Sensor error will have a big X on the screen, which basically means that the gas sensor has stopped working for whatever reason, and you basically need to troubleshoot. So if you can't remember what to do, that's fine. Call into customer care and we'll help you. But just so you know, you want to power on and off. If that doesn't work, calibrate it. If that doesn't work, call customer care. But either way, call customer care and we'll walk you through it. And then basically a warning alarm is your bump or calibration is due. So typically a manager will configure it to say my device, it's mandatory as part of the guidelines and rules and policies is to bump the device every day. So you'll get a warning alarm every day going, hey, you've got to bump test me please, and you'll do that. And maybe the calibration is, I don't know, 130 days. But your manager will configure that to what they think is good, and then it will remind you. Remember, if you don't bump, you can still carry on with your day, but it's going to show up in the reports that you did not comply with bumping your device that day. Okay, going through as quickly as possible because of time. So I'm going to skip through these real quick. Red alerts, so you've got your high alerts and your over limit alerts. Oh, sorry, it jumped. So high alerts, you've got high. So whenever you get a red alert coming in, high gas alert, you evacuate, and then read your screen. The screen will tell you exactly what's happening, what's going on, the type of gas that you want to evacuate, and that's literally the rule. And remember, whenever you get a red alert, you're going to get a blue light because it alerts us. Red alerts are highly important, and we need to check on your safety immediately, so we will be contacting you, and if we can't get a hold of you, we'll tell your manager we tried to contact you, and you have, you know, a high alert of whatever that gas is. Over limit as well, and then we've got your toxic gases, depending on what types of gases you've purchased. You've got your STEL and your time-weighted average as well. So same thing, you see a red flashing light and that alarm coming in, you've got to get out. Okay, you've got to get out, evacuate. So here is a reminder of the lights again, and I'm just going to move over to the phone numbers. So as you can see, North America, we've got United Kingdom, international, but this is the support phone number. If you don't want to write it down now, that's fine. It's going to come to you in an email at the end. But ladies and gentlemen, does anyone have any questions? If not, we have finished our G7X and Bridge training.